Yeah, this one looks like the Red Baron took a few shots at it, I guess. Hey, Russians. We're going to do some restoration today. Well, actually, we're going to make a back glass. This is out of a Gottlieb Sky Jump. It's seen better days. Not only are the reds flaking like most of them do, or orange in this case, but it's got a bunch of scratches, and this looks like the Red Baron actually put a couple holes in it. So let me show the process I do to make one of these. And by the way, I'm doing, you know the drill, I'm doing this by myself, for myself, not for sale. So please don't ask, but you're more than welcome to attempt to do this by yourself. So let's get to it. All right, what do we need to make this happen? Well, we need a scanner. And in my case, I am using the legendary HP ScanJet 4600. So I'm going to scan the back glass. This is going to accomplish two things. First of all, it's going to get me the image in a 1-to-1 ratio. Then I'm going to use the iPhone, which I'm filming this video with, to take pictures and incorporate them into the scan in Photoshop. So you also need Photoshop as well. So I'm going to just set you guys up, let you watch the process of this thing in action, and then we'll bring you to Photoshop when we start importing everything. Okay, here's the ScanJet software we're going to import it as a TIFF, and the resolution is going to be 300 dpi. So I hit scan here. It's going to do its thing. You're going to see this thing come to life. Sometimes it takes a second to warm up, or 2 or 3. So what's going to happen is once it scans, we're going to move the scanner. No, there it goes. All right, so I'm going to pick up the scanner now. I'm going to move it, and I'm going to do this in sections. So we'll do 6 with a lot of overlap. Overlap meaning, so I'm going to move the scanner over to this side, and we're going to have a lot of area that's going to be double scanned, but that'll help with the stitching process that Photoshop does. So anyways, once it accepts it, I import it, and I let this thing do its thing. Okay, I'll set you up. Actually, I guess I'll walk you through the whole process, the whole scanning process. Just want to give you a sneak peek into some EM stuff. Yep, I'm going to be working on an EM game for you guys to show you that I'm not a one-trick pony and only know how to work on the bally's. So hang tight, I'll bring you right back. Okay, I gotcha. I'm going to move it. Again, I'm going to get some overlap here. And then we're going to hit the scan. There we go. Okay, now we're going to do the back side. You might be thinking, why are we doing the back side? Well, significance back here is everything that's not gray, all the white, is what lets the light shine through. So we've got to get all the 90s tilt and all that stuff. So it's very significant that you do the back. The back is also the difficult part because sometimes the software can't recognize what to stitch together. So a lot of times we end up doing it manually. Okay, we're all done with the scanning. Put the scanner away. So, I guess you can see from this side that all these scratches and marks and missing paint, that's what the problem with this glass is. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use the phone that I'm using to record this video, and we're going to take pictures. I'm going to take one from up here to take its entirety, just to give me a frame of reference of where everything goes. More importantly, on this side, I'm going to take images. Again, we're going to go up top, take an image from there, but I'm going to get as parallel as I can to the artwork and take pictures. So I'll take a picture of this guy, I'll take a picture of that, so on and so forth. Not the whole thing, but just the major sections. And then when I import everything into Photoshop, I'll actually be able to take the image here and graft it onto the one-to-one image in Photoshop. And I'll show you why. The ScanJet does a fantastic job, but sometimes it does leave striations in the image, which for whatever reason I can't figure out how to get rid of. So I've adapted this method and it works quite well. Okay, I'm going to turn you off and I'll bring you back on when we get into Photoshop. I don't know how well this is showing up on camera, but you can see the lines I'm talking about. It's pretty evident right here where we go from white, there's a gray line, white, gray line, so on and so forth. So that's, I don't know, I've been on forums for the ScanJet. I don't know how old that thing is, probably 15, 20 years old by now, so there's no real software to support it. So anyway, I've imported the pictures into Photoshop, and what I'm going to try here, it may or may not work, we're going to do a photo merge. So we go to Automate, and we hit Photo Merge, and I've added all the open files, so there's 6 of them, which you see right here. And let's hit OK. Let's see what happens. Let's throw some caution to the wind here, see if Photoshop figures out how to put it together. If it doesn't, then we have to do it manually, which is not the end of the world. Hopefully I did enough overlap on the left side and on the right side so that it'll be able to identify the picture. And this is the Forrest Gump box of chocolates. Let's see what it does here. Wow, did it. Brilliant. Okay. I am very happy with that. Again, you'll see, like, you know, some lines and things like that need to be addressed, but overall I'm very happy with that first shot too. So Okay, let the fun begin. So, let me just save this file. I will bring you back once I import the pictures I took, the individual pictures of this. Now you're gonna have to learn Photoshop on your own. I've played with Photoshop for years. I'm pretty good at it. I'm sure there's better ways of doing things, but this is the way I do it, and it's worked for me. But this is a working copy, and I'll bring you back. Okay, Russians, so here's the deal. We got the back glass scanned. Yeah, I got a new monitor with some eyeball protection technology, and I think it actually does something because you're not seeing the waves happening when you typically videotape an LCD. Anyways, so here's the deal. We scanned it, we stitched it, and what we got happening is a lot of cleanup that needs to happen. All right, remember, this isn't a lesson on how to use Photoshop. It's how to make a back glass. So what I did is, using some tricks and trades, I'm sure there's a bunch of different ways or better ways of doing it, I cleaned it up. But what happens when you clean it up, you lose some of the details. So if we look at the sky jumping guy, you see the blacks and his skin tone on the original, and then there's the touched up version. So we lose some of the detail. So what I do is I literally take pictures of the back glass. You want it in the proper setting. You want to make sure that when you do take the pictures, you're as dead on as you can get it. So here's a picture. Let me just hide the layers. That's what we got for the picture. So this is the original scan. You can see, I'm going to zoom in a bit here. You can see the ugliness that's going on. All the missing flaking paint, a nice big scratch there, just a whole bunch of general problems with it over here, you know, things like that. And this is repeated throughout the whole back glass. So what we're gonna do is, through the power of Photoshop, I'm gonna fix it, and there's your fix. Okay, so if you look, his star is better, his glasses are better, his helmet's better. Let me bring back the original. Okay. And there's your fix. Original. The skin's a bit blotchy, like he's got, you know, different colors going on. But again, with the fix, we clean it all up. Same with the ball in play. Okay, you can see it's got missing paint, boom, and there it is, fixed. Okay, so if we back out, and I put the background in, we've got a better looking back glass. Better than what we started with anyway, right? Again, here's what we started with on the scan. I'll just turn the layers off here. There's the scan, so this is our 1-to-1 ratio. This is the whole thing fixed from the scan. This is the picture. Literally, I took a picture and I just imported it. And then this is the picture cleaned up, and this is where we are. Okay, so next step is to do exactly that with, you know, parts that are really bad. Like I look at his hand here. I look at this hand. This jumper is not too bad, but there are a couple that have some issues. I might import the pictures just to give it a bit more detail. Yeah, this plane, this one's going to be fun. The Red Baron went after that one, so we're going to fix that for sure. And then, obviously, I got to fix the windows. We got to knock them out so that the score reels can look through. This plane looks pretty good, and that's definitely got to be fixed as well. We got a lot going on there. Okay, so that's where we are. Next time I bring you back, I should be Done. And I'll show you the layers of the pictures like I've been doing here so that you get sort of like a before and after of how we're progressing with this, okay? Do is take off the backing scans. original. And there's the touched up version. I'll pull the backing off and I'll show you all. These are all the pieces that I've imported so far. His hand. That's the whole glasses, guys. So that's the original scan. I'm going to show you the glasses guy now. That's what it looks like now, after he's been touched up. So what I have to do next is do all these jumping guys. And there's a couple of elements I'm going to plop in. Like this didn't scan very well. Anything with like lines and things like that. And then we will be done. I'll show you the final product. I won't go into that much more detail with how we do the imports for pictures and whatnot, but I think it'll give you a good idea of what goes on to make this thing look as pretty as we're trying to make it, right? So, okay, talk to you in a bit. Okay, let's start working on the back. I'm going to show you something that you can always pick up telltale signs, like witness marks and things like that. This is the credit window. How am I going to figure out how big it is? Well, here, we'll zoom in. We can clearly see the black here. All right, I want you to follow that. See, there's a black smudge there. We lose it here, but then we pick it up there. Okay, so what we're going to do is make the window as such, and then fill the rest in. Okay, so let me zoom out. Here is the back of the back glass, stitched, put together. Show you some of the horrors that are going on. So these are all the scratches on the jumper's face. That's the mark you see on the color version. And here's all the pitting and all the loss of color flakes that are popping off. Same with the Red Baron attacked plane. Okay, so if I back out, what we're going to do is, through the power of Photoshop, make everything gray gray and everything white white. So that's what we're going to have. Okay, so we can see everything that we need to make the back of the back glass. So here's what you gotta consider. When this is printed, we print the white color first, then we print the color white, then we print the blocking layer, the gray. And then when all the light bulbs, and if you look in the back of the head, you'll see the bulbs go where the white is to illuminate the white. Okay, so now what we gotta do is we gotta take this and we have to graft it onto the color version here. So this version with green, it's easier on the eyes for me anyway. So I use the color green, and then you can also see I put all the little zeros, things like that, and I reversed it. Okay, so it's literally the same as the color version. So I'm going to put it behind just to make sure everything lines up. So again, when the light shines through the back, it is shining around the diver's head here is the same here, so that this isn't moved over, for example, and then you'll see like a bit of a haze when the light's trying to shine through if the blocking's not good. So I'm going to use two hands here, or one hand, sorry, and I'll bring you right back. Okay, so you can see here that the gray, you can see right down here, the gray doesn't cover the color completely, and some of the gray is bleeding in to the window. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it all gray again, and then we're going to punch it out, and I'll show you how we do that. So I'm going to color it in. And then I'm going to, I have to do the whole thing, 1 second here. So basically I'm telling it, whatever's gray, you got to make it gray again. Okay. Now, pull the gray out, and I'll go to the white. So this is not as defined as I'd like it to be, so let's make it a little tighter. Punch it out a bit. Now let me add another layer. And I'm going to turn it into make it a bit tighter here. Okay. No idea what happened here. Better. Now I'm going to punch it through on the gray side. Boom. Now they should line up perfect. Yep, perfect, okay. Awesome, okay. And I'm gonna do the same for the windows up here. Where I think, so this is the interesting part. When we print the color layer, so when we print the color layer, the printers cannot print white. Okay? And if you don't believe me, if you have an inkjet or a color jet or whatever kind of printer you have at home, when you put white paper in it, it prints everything, but white is the background. Try putting black paper in and printing white and see what happens. You'll get nothing. So same with the inkjet printing. They don't print white. So you've got to introduce the white layer, which is this. So white is actually green in this case. just again to see it a little bit easier. And wherever you see green, it will be white. Okay, so the same here, white will be white, and then so it'll be the color, then the white. So when it goes to print, it's not going to print white, so it's actually going to completely miss this. But then when we go over it with the white layer, it'll fill in all the white parts. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to describe, but I think you'll get the gist of it. So I just want to make sure that these windows line up. Put you down for a second. Yeah, they're pretty good. So if I hit the delete, it took out the overlap. Perfect. Okay, we are done. Put this on the bottom. And so that's going to conclude this series. Yes, you're waiting for the printing to happen. That'll happen in very short order, but if I end the video here, because it takes me a while to get to the printer, by the time this posts, or I'll have it posted with the replica glass. So we'll see how that plays out. So anyways, Russians, take it easy. Talk soon. Be good. Again, he was in pretty good shape. But his buddy over here, where's the lens? There it is. His buddy over here was kind of hurting. He had a lot of damage, as we can see here. And then when we cleaned him up, he looks a lot better now. All right, I'm gonna pull this guy out now. So all the major assemblies that went in, plus some of the details that did not scan very well, were brought in. There's this dude here, and even the ball in play, right? So if I show you what he looked like before, where is he? He's over here somewhere. There he is. So this is what he looked like originally. Remember, we got the scratch across his face, we got all the dimpling in the head. Can't really see, but the black is not very cohesive. You know, the cracks in the blue, some paint missing there. I think you can make this out, but it's kind of blotchy. It just faded, I guess, over time. And then the ball in play is kind of hurting, so we fixed it all up. To look like such. Okay. And we are done. Let me just bring it back a bit and fill in all the other pieces. Let me cut that out. Boom, call it done. I'll bring you to the place where I'm actually gonna get it printed, because that place is pretty neat. Time to do the white layer. We're going to print the gray layer now. We're doing the blocking layer now. This is the layer that blocks the light from shining through and it only lets the white shine through. Any questions? rushfan@live.ca. If you've got a project you want to do and you want my services to help facilitate, again, send me an email, see what we can do. Okay, let's show you the back before we show you the front. There's the original. It's all killed. Here's the new one. Grays, they're pretty good. This one's a bit, it's lighter. And there's our front. I typically do test prints, but given how busy my printer is, it's difficult to get any print time with them. So I'm really happy with the way this turned out. If I look at the orange here, it's really orange. This one is not as orange, it's got more red, and his face is a bit more pink than what we got going down. But the jumpers are good. The plane doesn't have any holes in it, unlike this one. But they're both very crisp. It's very crisp and very vibrant. I'm really happy with it. I'm gonna tweak the colors a little bit just to mimic the original. So, but then again, it's not like I'm making these, so it'll be probably a one-shot deal. But anyway, let's put our new one in the game and see what it looks like in there. Here it is in the game. The windows lined up perfectly. It's credit. The jumping dude looks fantastic. These guys look good. No scratches, no muss, no fuss. I'm really happy with this one, ladies and gentlemen. If you share my enthusiasm, please like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. If you want to see more, let me know. If you want me to teach you how to use Photoshop for pinball, let me know. Remember, Rushians, like, share, subscribe. Any questions, email me, rushfan@live.ca. Have a good one, all my friends. Take care.